One of the first things that I think trips leaders up, myself included, is that they're confused about how much responsibility they should take for the people in their charge, right? There's people out there like Jocko Willink with a military background, and he advocates something called extreme ownership. And that means the buck stops with you, right? You are the one who is 100% responsible for the failure or success of your mission, even if somebody completely disobeyed what you did, screwed up, whatever. And I think that makes sense in a military context, which is incredibly hierarchical. There are commands, there's court martials, like the person in charge needs to take full responsibility, and it's a life or death scenario. But the truth is, there's other times in life where leaders just kind of emerge and they invite people to join them. They don't command them, and it's not appropriate for them to take extreme ownership of everything that the people around them do. For instance, one of the things that tripped me up, when I moved to Brazil, I invited a lot of people to come with me. I didn't make anyone come with me. I didn't force them to. But a huge part of me felt responsible for their actions. And I actually think that as I look back on it, it hurt our relationship in some ways because I kind of coddled them, babied them, and tried to make sure that they had this amazing experience because I felt like I was responsible for their decision. Now, of course, there was some responsibility there, right? In some way, I did invite them to come. I put the idea in their head, and it would probably not have happened without me. But as I've stepped away from that and moved through this in time and had different kinds of leadership roles, I realized that there are times in your life where you are just inviting people. And I want to call this what you might call accidental leaders. It's not because it's happening on accident, it's going to happen consistently, but it's not set up by command. It's not set up by fiat. If you suggest a movie and people all say, I'd like to go to that movie too, and it turns out that movie's terrible, you don't need to take extreme ownership of this, right? This isn't all your fault. These people opted in of their own free will. So we have accidental leaders over here, and over here, which you can have what we call hierarchical leaders or command-based leaders, the military being the most extreme example. And somewhere perhaps in the middle, maybe closer to this side, is different kinds of organizational leaders. But you also have organizational leaders over here who just emerge within a team and aren't necessarily the ones that should be taking full responsibility, not just because they're trying to get off the hook, but because it's not best for the people around them. When I took responsibility for people who were taking a free choice to do things with me, it actually stunted their growth, and it made me feel all of this stress that I think was unnecessary. So the first mindset that's going to influence all of these is to identify what kind of leader you are in what situation. And sometimes that means that you really do need to step into more responsibility, but sometimes it means you need to realize that you've merely invited people around you to participate in something that you were already going to do, right? You didn't force them, you didn't make them, you would have been here anyway. So they need to take a larger portion of the responsibility for their experience and their success. This is going to impact all of the other mindsets. So think of a situation now that you might have struggled and not been sure if you were right to be leading, and ask yourself, were you more this accidental leader or were you more a hierarchical leader, and what should you have been?